I'm about to share with you an approach or a concept that might challenge the way you think about manifestation and getting your dreams. This approach really helped me to monetize my podcast, and not only monetize it, but gain a passive income from it. And also, it really helps me with the mundane things in life. I only realized it once I lived it too many times, and so now I'm able to share it with you. And it's the reason why am I now sitting in a beautiful tiny house on a Spanish finca. So this video is for you if you think you need to unstuck yourself, if you think that some areas of your life are perfect, but some areas of your life are still kind of like locked and you're unable to figure it out. And also for you, if you still don't know what is it that you're supposed to do in life and you're kind of like want to enjoy it and you don't need to be extremely ambitious about it. So just to tell you right from the start, this is a real life story. It's not some kind of manifestation trap, and I will not be talking about how to raise your vibration or frequency, despite I believe in inner work, I believe in mindset work, and I trust it's good for you, so you should do that. With that being said, I will just move on right into the problem solving here. It is that we are resistant to our desired result. And so instead of raising the vibration and going higher to the frequencies, I would actually advise you to do quite the opposite. And so I call this approach of mine the final act of despair. And let me explain. It's not what you think. Seriously, it is a very positive approach in the end, because you are alchemizing the negative feelings you are experiencing when you go, let's say, up the hill and you are trying to reach your goals, and you are alchemizing the negative feeling, usually despair or some kind of frustration, to your favor. Whatever you trust in, if you have faith, if you trust in the universe, whatever higher powers you believe in, they are not asking you if you want something or what is it that you want. They are asking you, do you want it bad enough? Are you able to step out of your current lifestyle? Are you able to step out of your comfort zone? Are you able to navigate the problem solving differently? You need to do the final act of despair, is as how I call it. And let me tell you my story with my podcast. I was building a podcast for the last 5 years. I'm from a small country with a tiny audience, and I'm also a person who doesn't want to do promotions for other brands. I just wanted to really build my brand. And I did, but it was a hustle, it was a grind, it was painful. I even set up a private community, and people could pay monthly subscription, and I just did it out of the third parties, out of Spotify and all the big names. But in the end, after the 4th year, I was seriously exhausted. So I told myself, okay, enough is enough. I have to stop this. And my final act of despair was this 5th year, when I realized, okay, I need to stop this and I probably need to close this project. Obviously, after you're building something for 5 years, it's just not that easy to just close it and leave it. I regret that you didn't try enough. I closed the community, but I set it up a Buy Me a Coffee platform where people still can support me. And I also put together all of the premium content from the past years, and I made packages out of it. So people can actually buy what they are interested in instead of paying monthly subscriptions. Now I have a passive income from a product that I don't have to care about, and also people are still supporting me through the Buy Me a Coffee platform, which is kind of unbelievable to me, but this is how I did it. And if I wouldn't change my ways, how I thought about it, if I wouldn't approach it differently, if I would still be hustling, I probably wouldn't be here and would not have the time to actually invest in some other pursuits that I feel more aligned with as of now. I'm just trying to say, don't give up, give in. So usually when something is not working out for you, maybe it doesn't mean that it's not for you. Maybe it truly is for you, but you just need to approach it in a very different way. Just try to always flip the script. Just try to do something very opposite of what you are doing now. And it will lead you to your desired result. And why is that? I've said that the biggest problem is that you have the resistance to your desired result. And if you do this final act of despair, if you give it your all, this will release the resistance in you. If you really do everything you can, it will completely release the resistance, and you will experience the relief, the success, the freedom you want. And that brings me to this law of attraction rule, where it's said that you have to be living as if, you already have it. But the problem is that when you have resistance towards what you want to have, you can never live as if. And so through this final act of despair, through your final try of whatever is it that you want, you release the resistance, you will drop it. I would say it's inevitable. It will come to you. And it is the same as, imagine you would be on a vacation and it would rain every day. Like right now, I'm on a vacation, and some parts of the day on a sunny island, it just rains every day. What would you do? Just complaining about your vacation? But no, you would probably figure out your final act of despair. And at the time I always do, the sun comes up and I can go outside. I can do what I want, because in the meanwhile, I'm like, okay, maybe I should read that book. Maybe I should enjoy my coffee for 5 minutes more. And I think really that when you approach it with the least resistance, whatever it is that you want, it will come to you. I also forgot to mention that this approach is extremely helpful when you don't know what is it that you want, or when you're unable to make a decision and you feel stuck, because obviously there are so many options. Like, there are plenty of options in this world, and maybe you just don't know which path to take. But this approach can be the same beneficial, because if you imagine yourself, what is it, the final thing, what is it, the final try that you need to do? What is the final experience that you need to have to live your desired result? What is it that will help you drop all the resistance and live in the relief? And as mundane as it is, I said, this is the reason why am I sitting here. Honestly, I felt so frustrated because obviously the options on booking on Airbnb were very much limited or very much overpriced. I was asking myself, okay, what will help me release this? And what I did was that one Sunday evening, I just booked anything that was available. I was a little bit upset with myself. I had to book too many places that I would be moving around. But I was like, you know what? It is what it is. And if it's supposed to be this way, I will just accept it. And the next morning I woke up, and if I wouldn't do this final act of despair, I wouldn't have the conversation I had with the person I know. And I wouldn't told him, I'm so excited, I'm going to this island. And he was like, yeah, but I knew people there and they have accommodation. Maybe you can call them and ask them if you can stay there. And I was canceling all of the reservations I made the evening before. And I'm just telling you this because, this is what is required of you. What's required of you is not to wait, is not to do only the inner work, but you also need to act with what you have. And I'm just saying, this is also a material world where your action is needed. It's truly what is needed and what is required of you to live your dreams. You might not know what the end result is. I would say that through the final act of despair, whatever is your version of your life right now, if you're fed up with it, just flip it and truly don't be afraid to do the opposite, even in the smallest things. And of course, with the best intention. And you will most likely discover the end result. You will most likely find out what is it that you want. And then the question is, do you want it bad enough? That is truly the main difference between people who succeed and between people who give up. So as you've heard in my story, I almost gave up right before reaching my goal of having a passive income from a product that I made. But I almost gave it up right before I made the last try. I would also say that this is the best approach to overcome any fear. What do you want to regret the most at the end of your life? Do you want to regret that you were fearful, or do you want to regret that maybe you failed, but at least you tried? I trust it's the latter. And because these are not my words, I'm gonna read it out loud to you so you can inspire yourself and do whatever it is that you need to do. Begin. If you're scared to fail, I say begin already. Fail if you must. Pick yourself up. Start again. If you fail again, you fail. So what? Begin again. It is not the failure that holds us back, but the reluctance to begin over again that causes us to stagnate. If you're scared, so what? If you're afraid something's going to leap out and bite you, then for heaven's sake, get it over with already. Let your fear leap out and bite you so you can get it over with and go on. You will get over it. The fear will pass. In this case, it is better if you meet it head on, feel it, and get it over with, than to keep using it to avoid cleaning up your life.